According to the United States Department of Health and Human Services, as of March 2012, there were 113,000 patients currently waiting for organ donation. This means that every 10 minutes, another name will be added to the National Organ Transplant waiting list. It also means that each day, 18 patients will die waiting for an organ while on this list. In 2011, there were 28,535 organ transplants performed as the result of donations from 14,144 donors. However, while 90% of Americans say that they support donation, only 30% know the essential steps needed to be a donor. As you may expect, this means that there are not nearly enough organ donations to supply patient demand. Consequently, people have turned to other, sometimes ethically questionable means to obtain suitable organs for these life-saving procedures. This presentation will examine some of the ways governments and various organizations have tried to encourage donation, as well as some of the illicit ways organs are obtained on the black market. With regard to selling organs, the first country to be examined will be China, where organ transplants become big business, as Rupert Wingsford reports based upon a BBC undercover investigation.
Using a hidden camera, I'm going undercover to try and find out whether the organs being used here come from executed prisoners. I've told the hospital I'm looking for a new liver for my ailing father. 邓主任吗？你好。你好。我是打电话给你。Thank you. The chief surgeon, Dr. Dung, tells me he can get a matching liver in less than 3 weeks. Then I broach the awkward issue of where the liver will come from.
曾经报道过，在中国很多这个移植的手续是从那个犯人，这个是不是？是这样。
Another man arrives. This is the hospital's agent for dealing with foreign clients. He's eager to do business and produces documents for making a payment of £50,000 to a bank account in Hong Kong. He's also far less discreet.
This hospital has just been doubled in size to keep up with the demand from wealthy foreigners for new organs. China is now a world centre of the organ transplant industry. But it's an industry that is based on one rather horrifying statistic, that China executes more people every year than the rest of the world put together.
The hospital says the prisoners all donate their organs voluntarily. But this is how prisoners in China go to their deaths. This is a public execution rally from July this year. This man's name is Yu Jianfang. The noose around his neck is to choke him if he tries to call out. Is this man really in a position to make a free choice about donating his organs?
Well, short of outright theft, China's policies may represent the closest practice to stealing organs if this report is true. Others have proposed another way to increase the number of available organs for transplant.
Stay with me. Paying people to donate their kidneys. I know, it sounds really ghoulish, it sounds really icky, but they're your kidneys, and it really helps people in need, so if you want to sell one, why not?
But if allowing people to sell their organs was a path that we chose to explore, what would need to happen to make this even possible? And what would be the ethical implications?
The most straightforward approach would be simply to repeal the federal law that makes it a crime to sell organs.
But Danovich says that would be a dreadful mistake.
Because they don't care about each other.
He says money would take the caring out of the donor-recipient relationship.
We're going to take the caring out of it, and it's become a matter of paying off people.
But Pastrell points out that donors are the only ones in the transplant process who aren't compensated.
The surgeons are paid, the people who supply the medicines are paid, the people who clean the floors in the hospitals are paid, everybody's paid, but not the donors.
But would people be less likely to help others if money were involved?
Voluntary donors actually feel good about themselves. Paid donation actually is a subversive process that actually undermines voluntary donation.
Think of, soldiers or firefighters.
We respect their service, we appreciate their heroism, but we also pay them.
Despite the potential positive aspects of organ sale, however, it bears consideration how the poor populations of the world may be exploited by such a system. Anthropologist Munir Usman interviewed 33 kidney sellers in his native Bangladesh and found they typically didn't get the money they were promised and were plagued with shame and depression, as well as serious health problems which prevented them from working. The process is generally carried out by unethical organ brokers who often engage in coercion and manipulation, as well as forged documents indicating the recipient and seller are related in order to claim that the act is a family donation. While policies like China's coercion of prisoners to donate, or the idea that one should be able to freely sell one's organs may seem like extreme positions, other countries have taken a more moderate approach. In the United States, as well as many other countries, we rely on a system of altruism, also known as the opt-in approach. The hope is that patients will sign organ donation cards because they think it is the right thing to do. Other countries, like Spain and Austria, have tried an opt-out approach, called presumed consent. Every patient who dies is assumed to have consented to organ donation unless they have specifically declined. However, perhaps the most interesting case is that of Israel, a country which had historically ranked in the bottom of Western countries on organ donation as a result of Jewish law, which prohibits desecration of dead bodies. In 2005, Dr. Jacob Levay, the head of the heart transplant program of Sheba Medical Center, was confined in by two ultra-Orthodox Haredi Jewish patients who were awaiting heart transplants. They explained that while they would never consider donating their own organs, they had no qualms about accepting organs from others. Bothered by the unfairness of this paradox, Dr. Levay spearheaded an effort to give organ transplant priority to patients who have either signed a donor card or whose family member has donated an organ in the past, making Israel the first country to consider non-medical factors in organ allocation. As a result, people registered for organ donation in droves. In conclusion, it is possible that none of what has been discussed represents the ultimate solution to ending organ shortages worldwide. However, it is undeniable that these shortages are a serious problem, and as such, merit solicitous discussion on how to improve the current situation.